Hello everyone and welcome back to more for 2023 Imperium Cup for Dune Imperium, the Rise of X and Immortality expansions. Your host and commentator, the BlackShadow, we are continuing our coverage of the first round of knockouts from the tournament. The group stages have ended and we still have 120 players that we need to whittle down towards our eventual grand final. Today is going to be looking at Knockout D, featuring John Bonachon, Arkhanaut, Griselpuff, and Dr. Bell. We'll start off with John, who came 5th in Group F. A very tough group this, by the way. Some really good players. The Dinosaur, Creative, Squirrely, LF Chairs, even Strong Acting as well. A lot of very strong players in this group. So I think he'll feel pretty happy to have made it through qualification. And might even fancy himself as favourite for this game overall. Though I do think this is pretty wide open, all things being equal. John had to leave it too late to actually get his feet into the competition in this one, with a couple of middling results in the opening weeks with Beast Raban as well as Paul Atreides, and then coming nearly unstuck actually in week 5 with a 4th place finish as Ilban with 9 victory points, with everyone else scoring 11 plus, but managing to score a victory in his last game of the competition with Ilban again, which was a huge result for him, and managing to score himself 11 points and forge his way into the next round. I'm definitely curious to see how John will manage to fare in these knockouts, having dipped his toes into the rank system and doing okay for himself. One thing I'm very interested to see for John is his ability to perhaps improvise on the fly. I do think that, given a reasonably solid position, he'll be happy to make the most out of it. But when he's got to sort of dig for trying to find his way out of a bit of trouble and maybe trying to exploit situations around him, I mean, it's going to be a very key part for John today and looking to try and, take advantage of something else to kind of forge his way through. I've not played a ton with John, but my impression is solid stuff, and it'll be interesting to see how he plays this one today. Arkhanaut comes through from Group J, which was my group here. Here's a look at the table at the end of this. I haven't actually shown this off to anyone currently so far. And yes, I am the only person who made it through to the second round directly without winning a game before anyone asks. Anyways, this isn't about me. Of course, this is about Arkhanaut, who did come through just about scraping into a 6th place finish. Maybe a little bit fortunate to make it through. Very unfortunately, Stoop was not able to play the last game of the group here, which is a real shame. And we just simply ran out of time in order to get it rearranged. So it means that Arkhanaut found his way progressing through when otherwise he might not have done. So this is a bit of a bonus chance for Arkhanaut. He's got nothing to lose here whatsoever. He should feel like the pressure's just totally off and can have a crack at this game. And, if he gets through, it's a fantastic result. And if he doesn't, then, it's not a total disaster. As noted, Arkhanaut did not get any wins in the group, but also didn't come last either. His tournament consisting fully of 2nd and 3rd places. Accumulating those points, always sort of being there and thereabouts, but just not able to force any decisive victories at all over the course of the group. So I think he'll be definitely looking to try to rectify that. He had to pick up some tricky leaders on the way, though. A Lasery Kaz, there was a trip with Earl Memnon even as well. So had to kind of played Memnon twice, actually, looking at it. So definitely had to kind of make the most of the situation he was dealt with. And again, we'll feel happy that he's in with a chance here to qualify. Maybe feels that perhaps he's the underdog here. And maybe, again, not a ton of expectation. But I think he should still give it a good account of himself here. Maybe just hoping for some kind of opening to arrive for him to take advantage of. But we'll see how things go. But I do wish him luck, of course, coming from my group. Griselpuff was a survivor from a very scary looking Group H, the one featuring the likes of Lannister, Tamars, Luca, Harry, a lot of very strong players here in Grizzle, managing to forge through 5th place after a 3-way points tie for the position. Griselpuff is a veteran of the ELO rank system, having played, I think at this point, literally hundreds of games in it, and always being sort of there or thereabouts in the sort of the top 10, top 20 of the stats. Very strong player. Will probably go into this fancying his chances to make it through as well, and maybe a little bit annoyed that he didn't actually make a top 4 finish, considering he did get a win in the back end of the tournament with Paul Atreides, but just got off to a bit of a slow start of 3rd place with Baron as well as a Lasery Kaz, leaving himself just a little bit too much work to do. So when he did start improving on his results, just wasn't able to make enough distance in order to catch up with the rest of the table. It leaves him a lot of work to do for the competition. He's got to go through all rounds of qualifying in order to make it to spots where he felt like he perhaps had a really good chance to make in the group stages. But we've seen people do that before and make it all the way through and win this competition. So maybe Grizzle will be able to do it again. And last up is going to be Dr. Bell, who was one of the fastest losers to get through from the group stages, here coming through from Group S. This was a pretty wild group, as you can see here. Points shed all across the board. The difference between 1st and 7th being just 4 points, meaning this was a completely wide open group, as it turned out. And Bell, maybe a little bit unfortunate to feel not to make an automatic qualification spot, but doing enough to get through fastest loser at the least. Coming through the Australia's group is always tricky. There are some very strong players here. Badger, Yayasmat, Kasparov as well. Some really, really strong players. So I think to make it through in this is a good effort, definitely. And had a pretty solid group stage, all things being considered. A couple of decent second places playing as Raban, which was followed by victory with Yuna against the Yayasmat and Kasparov in week 2, but just couldn't quite keep the momentum going and kind of slipping away as the rest of the tournament kicked in. But doing enough to hold on for their position. But definitely a bit of a group of fire this to make it through. And I think we'll definitely have the support of the folks from his group. They're all very tight-knit community, all wishing each other well in these types of tournaments. But I do think this is going to be a difficult one for Bell, however. It's a pretty tough group. I think Griselpuff especially is going to be he'll feel that it'll be like the main source of potential problems for him. And we're hoping to kind of just duck and weave the various issues that might be thrown at him here. I think it'll be a tough one for Bell, but if he can get himself rolling and get himself ahead early, I think this will be a really good chance for him to try and push the lead out, hold on to it, and make his way through to the next round. But I think this could be pretty tough for him. All right, so we're getting ourselves ready for the match here. John finds himself in the first, albeit Dr. Bell to pick first in 4th. And oh my holy goodness. Let's start with the Talaxia as we normally do. A couple of half-decent cards, actually, here. Chair Dog is a little bit tricky to use, allowing you to take the card you graphed and then put it into your reveal phase as well, which is kind of neat. I think that's it's a cool design. Maybe not always the most effective card, but there's a couple cards out here where Chair Dog's actually really, really, really good. Subject 137 for the early Beetle Bump does need Jetted Markers to use Fuller. But can be decent, though. When it's on the opening row, it's always interesting to see people make a die for that. The Imperium row, though, is pretty all over the place here. Pirate of Rays, one of the best games from base Dune Imperium, being joined by the Talaxu Master here. Early reveals, very possible. If Helena's out there, she's going to be very popular. Other than that, there's other good stuff here. Worm Riders is solid. Dissecting Kit is very desirable. Even Truthsayer is very good, so a very strong row. As for our techs here, not the strongest ever seen here. Restrictive Ordnance is good, but usually gets picked a bit later on. Disposal's not particularly popular nowadays, but has some fun uses. Detonation Devices, however, could be very desirable here, given the other 2 techs on board. And as for our leaders, there is no Helena. Oh boy, this is going to be carnage. So Ilban, Tesia, and Beast all likely to get picked very early here, leaving maybe Romba or maybe Yuna in 2nd position, you'd imagine. We'll just have to see how things go, but this could get messy. So, Ilban taken in 4th position. You'd imagine Grizzle would take Tesia, and when they pick that quickly, it's a pretty obvious choice. John, in 1st position, has the option to go Beast here, and I think probably should. Having that extra spice and slice, especially the extra Solari is really good, means that you're kind of a bit similar to the position of, wow, goes for Yuna. Interesting. I would have preferred taking the extra resources as Beast, personally, but that's just me. There's no way that Arkhanaut is turning down Raban here. So Raban has the option, he's threatening double smuggle if Yuna can't get there. So this is going to be pretty action-packed. Let's see how things go here. Get ourselves ready. Opening draws are being made. Our first conflict is, oh my goodness me, it is the Spice Influence Skirmish. This is going to be carnage. So Yuna starts off with the Smuggle. Beast has no ring. He's probably going to be forced to go Hardy Warrior, so he feels. or just go fold space. So he's gonna opt to stay away. It was either or. Tedzia's got both faction accesses, so she is going. It's a bit tricky this for actually. It's not too bad actually for her. It's a bit good and a bit not so good. She can definitely win the conflict at Hardy Warriors, which she might opt to do, might not. I'm untoo sure to see what she's going to do here. She might try and wait this out, see what happens. Goes Steel Suits, kind of blocking out Yuna from getting there herself. Hardy Warriors definitely being considered. Ilban goes Wealth, but has no actual council access. And Yuna already is struggling positions. Is anyone early revealing here? Ilban might early reveal if it gets to him here. He's the only person with 5 persuasion. No one else does here. I could definitely see Ilban just insta-revealing for Talaxu Master. Maybe even Chair-Dog as well. Chair-Dog Talaxu Master is absolutely vile. Yuna goes Carthag and finds Windfall. That is actually +3 coins for it. That is huge. So she could go to Wealth and use Windfall and get Swordmaster round 2, but she's drawn all of her council access this hand, so she can't do it. Doesn't play Seek Allies, not interested in secrets, wants to get troops in here. Beast is eyeing up Tech Negotiation to get the 5 to threaten either Master or Paita. He's probably not going to see Talaxu Master. Either someone's revealing before him or someone blows the row. So, makes Dagger a bit more awkward. Experimentation definitely wants a piece of this combat. It's very cheap at the moment. Lots of spice to be had. But he also knows he's going shipping, so it's not a decent urgency. So he might go Tech Negotiation and opts to do so. So he's going to give himself some options. I do expect Ilban to reveal here, though. But we'll see what happens. Tezia's up. She's got her diplomacy. She probably feels like she's got to use it here. The question is where. She could go Hardy Warriors right now and get the Snooper cash, and I suspect that's what she's going to do. She can just put in some troops, get rid of, like, the dagger. Yuna does have an intrigue, and it could be anything, but I figure they'll just put in 3 troops and... Or if they put in 3 and sack off the dagger, though, that could be bad. Ooh, that's really tight. You're risking this of Yuna. She could have all sorts of things, and the dagger is going. Ooh, Tezia's getting greedy. Gotta put in a 4th troop if you're getting rid of the dagger. You cannot... This bump is too important. You need it for your signet rings so you can ship round 3. Yep, that's exactly what we see here. So Tezia Vernius will be looking to go smuggling. And Ilban does indeed only reveal for Talaxu Master. Not surprised about this at all. Does he go Chair-Dog as well? Don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Subject's also a great card for him, but obviously he needs to get that research. I would have contemplated to take Subject, actually. So not surprised to see that. Yuna with the 2 daggers. Yeah, 2 spice. Nothing to buy. And Paita with, Raban with 5 is surely going to grab Paita here. Might go Dissecting Kit, perhaps, but Paita's such a good card. You know, that's a great enabler. You could go Dissecting and Truthsayer. I don't hate that. But I think I prefer Paita, personally. I'd rather buy a 1 card than 2. And then he does agree. Instead of conspiracy, both Worm Riders are out here. That's pretty wild. Yuna with 3. Tezia with 3. Truthsayer looks a great card for the faction access. Dissecting's also good, but I do like the faction access for Tezia here, so you can bomb tracks. Look at this Imperium row. It's pretty insane. So, Yuna, of course, will pass and get a couple of spice. Tezia will get access to shipping round 3, but she's not going to have much else other than that. Beast is going to beat her there to it. So, the only problem is for Beast is he might be a bit delayed in like when he's going to cash this in. So, we'll see what happens. Round 2 is Arrakis. Also, the thing as well, of course, of this is that they know that Beast is almost never getting involved in the conflict here. So, there's kind of some free money for everyone here. And if Tezia goes smuggling and then goes into the shipping and gets any of the money here, she will be ready for Swordmaster immediately. So that's pretty important. Yep, smuggling it is. No surprise there. Setting up to obviously ring and send some dudes in. Ilban's got all his daggers and is in an interesting spot. Does know that Yuna does not have any council access, so not obliged to go Mentatting straight away if he doesn't want to. Steel Suits looks pretty good. Yep, does do so. Makes sense. Limp a couple of dudes in. You're going to get some decent value. Maybe you just limp in 1. But I think 2 is pretty good here. Yuna's going Wealth, surely. Because Windfall means they're ready to actually ambush Swordmaster next round. And they're going to need to do it to get in front of Tesia here. So for me, it's wealth all day here. Or you go mining and conspiring. Conspiring is 6 coins. Could go Imperial Base and conspire. But looks like that's not going to be the case here. Yeah, just going to go wealth. I wouldn't have hated going Imperial Base and conspire. But, you know, this is also totally fine. So Beast is going to go shipping. Tesia, I assume, is going Imperial Basin. Ilban, I suspect, will go Mentatting. And then Yuna's, I don't know. I guess we have to decide if they... I guess they'll just go Savfk and see what happens, I would imagine. But Beast is considering getting involved here at Arrakis. Because the problem he's got is that if he does ship here, like, he's not going to be able to cash it in for a while. Unless he just takes the coin straight away. So he's considering getting involved here. And he does. He just gets involved. He goes Arrakeen as well. Finds another dagger. Wow. So big decision here from Beast. Figures he wants to get the victory point. I don't hate this given the way the shipping is. Like Tesia's, you know... Tesia can't go there, of course. She has no access to Mentat, so she can't Mentat with the ring and then go shipping. So I quite like this from Beast. I don't hate this at all. I don't know if I would have put in all the troops. I guess Ilban has, he's got all his daggers as well, so I guess this is fine. But yeah, I like this move, actually, because Tesia obviously wanted to Signet Ring here. But yeah, Beast, him going shipping right now, not a huge benefit for him. So I think this is a nice situational little move here. Tesia working out what Yuna's going to do. Basically looking at their access. They can go Savfk and they can go Basin. I imagine this is a Basin trip. Savfk, though. Interesting. I mean, Ilban's not going Basin, I don't think, here to block Yuna. I suspect he's going Mentat a lot, but we'll see. Wow. Glimpse the Path is found. That is crazy. What an intrigue draw that is. Hello, Waterfall. Great flat, potentially. Money for Tesia. Surely you got to put a troop in here. Got to charge a price for Yuna. Wow, Wax puts them both in. Wow. Really trying to force Yuna out here, but I guess figures, well, like, yeah, so Red's now looking. He realizes Yellow's got the dagger, basically. Knows that Ilban's got both daggers, but I imagine Mentat happens a lot here. But he's also conscious of the fact that he, you know, what does he want to do with his water? Imperial Basin, he probably has to go for, maybe. Great Flat, maybe Great Flats immediately. It's an interesting spot for Ilban. Knows that Tesia's got a dagger, so he kind of doesn't really want to use either of them. He'd have to use his Signet Ring, you'd think, a lot to keep in front, unless he is intending to whack in more forces here, which looks like that's going to be the plan. So he will draw. And that's why I wanted to use the Signet Ring, not the dagger, because there's a lot of cards you draw which you want to use, in which case, why not just use the Signet Ring? So Yuna does get to Imperial Basin. No way to obviously put troops in. You've been priced out. That's fine. If Tesi's willing to put in 2 troops to force you out, so be it. Keep troops for later. Beast with 3 persuasion. We'll grab Dissecting Kit, you'd imagine. I don't think there's any need to go anything else. Does Beast get tempted by Subject here? I don't think so. Makes you very genetic marker reliant is the only problem. Tesia with 3. Nothing to buy on the row. Tesia is eyeing up Glimpsing the Path here to buy, like, Smuggler's Thopter or Interstellar, but decides against it. Ilban has an action. What do you want to do here? You're still going to use the Signet Ring? Oof. Yeah, you should have used that first. You kind of put yourself in a bit of a weird spot now. I don't know that I like doing that in place of experimentation, personally. But never mind. 5 for Yuna. Inside of Conspiracy looks pretty nice. Could also consider ripping the row. Does need Emperor Spacing Grafting and doesn't have it, so gambles on a punt here. Well, interesting. A lot of stuff going on here. Full Humanity is out of price range. Bow's Ambition's a nice card just for access, but using the ring of that's going to be very difficult. Testing Humanity is also pretty solid. Ilban with 4, I imagine, will just take Testing Humanity and call it a day. I don't see a reason to buy anything else. Just going to buy the Beatles. Not interested in Subject. I mean, it's an amazing card for him, but he's not done any research, so that's kind of going into that a little bit here. I tell you what, Yuna is not unhappy to see the amount of strength that's gone into this combat here. She is really well geared up to just attack the next round, especially because she's going to ambush Swordmaster as well, assuming she gets the draw. So Yuna's looking pretty good for third round. No combat to resolve. Beast gets Arrakis round 2. Money shared about. We'll move on. Next up is Cloak and Dagger. A great conflict for Yuna. This is a really juicy combat here. So Tezia obviously is going to cash in the money. But Yuna is going to ambush with Windfall. Oh, but Yuna doesn't draw any green access. Oh, that's unlucky. Wow, she actually didn't draw it. Well, there's not much you can do about that. That's a little unfortunate. And now the problem is Ilban's also going to gear up here as well. So you've got Windfall. You might still be able to ambush Ilban perhaps next round, but it's a little bit unfortunate you didn't draw the access there. There's not much you can do. It's the way it goes. I wonder if this might call for a change of plans here. I don't hate Yuna Moritani going fold space and then actually spending Windfall to use Boundless Ambition's ring to double bump spacing so that she can start shipping the next 2 rounds. I legit think that's something that should be considered here from Yuna. I don't know if she's going to do that. Like, you feel that you've got to keep Windfall for Swordmaster, but I actually like that as a move. Fold space, use Boundless at, like, Still Suits if it's still there or something, and use that to double bump spacing guild so you can start shipping next round. I don't know if Yuna will agree, however, but I think I'd like to see that. I think fold space you should go regardless. Beast has pulled both his fold spaces with Paita, so he's going to have a pretty tasty reveal here. Decides to go Still Suits first. Might still do it. Windfall and Boundless for the double bump is also just a straight option. I don't hate going Windfall Still Suits first. But I really think Yuna should consider doing this and sacking off the... and giving up on Swordmaster for a moment, temporarily. If it gives you 2 rounds of shipping, I think you're happy to give up the action economy. I think it should definitely be considered. So Beast is going to save at least 1 fold space. Plays Experimentation. Swordmaster for Tezia, of course. Ilban's got Test. Might just use that to go Selective Breeding here, perhaps, to start culling out cards and trying to find Talatsu Master as much as humanely possible. It's not a combat he's going to get involved in here. And Bene Gesserit's going to be a good faction for him to attack. You could definitely cull out your Recon. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Like, you want to thin your deck as Ilban. You want to just see Talatsu Master as many times as you can humanely manage. And the 2 ways to do that is by drawing loads of cards and thinning out your deck. Selective Breeding does both of those. Interestingly, if the Ilban did do that, Yuna could unload Boundless Ambition. It does have another effect. If you discard it, you just acquire a card that's 5 or less, but there's no great cards. I mean, Keys to Power is a good card for her, but I really think Yuna should consider Windfall and double bump fold space and get shipping. I think it's a really, really cool way to play this. Might disagree. But if you're not going to use Testing Humanity for this, then, you know, that's fine. Got to put the agent down first before Testing Humanity is played. So it has to commit to a space first. So, intrigue is committed. So, if she's not going to play it, she should reveal it and get keys to power. And she's not going to. So, looks like giving up on shipping temporarily here. Yuna feels committed that she's got to stick to this. I mean, I guess Ilban hasn't gotten the extra money, so I don't hate this. But yeah, I think, you know, I think it would have been an interesting way to delve into it, but it's a bit riskier, I guess. Action economy can't be bad. So, Beast gives up one of his fold spaces, of course. Yuna gives up convincing, of course. I think Tessia Vernius is eyeing up Hardy Warriors here, by the way. She wants this combat very badly. And that's the only problem now. Now the problem is, what does Yuna do to win this fight? It's difficult for her to win. She'd have to go Arrakeen and just chuck it in and hope Tessia doesn't barrel Hardy Warriors. That's the only other downside to doing this. Like, I think you're kind of spent here. You can go here and obviously do some of this, but like, yeah, you just click here and then go back. There you go. Clicked on the wrong track there. Just didn't want to do it and redraw the second intrigue. So cannon turrets is found. It's not the worst. So Tessia Vernius says all license in the world to just barrel Hardy Warriors here, and I imagine will. Conspiring does occur for Beast. Finds to the Victor. That's a nice card for him for later. 6 Persuasion. Short for this. So here comes Hardy Warriors. Surely. Yep. Just going to barrel it in. So this is the issue, like, for Yuna. Yeah, she gets hold of the action economy, but, like, I think her going shipping would have been fine. Trying to work out what strength Yuna does have, potentially. Whether she's got daggers. Tessia has to punt it all in. There's nothing she can... She has to chunk it in here. She's trying to see if there's a way to save a troop, but there's too much uncertainty. Ilban with 4 and Talaxu Master Research beginning. I would love to bump up and trash Recon here. When you're playing with Talaxu Master, you do not need to rush Beetles. Trash cards, CTM more often. Finds Harvest Cells, by the way, so that's dealing with your bumps. I 100% am bumping up and trashing Recon, especially you got Tessie Humanity. That is also City Axe if you need it. And does agree. I think this is the better move. You want to thin this deck out as much as you can. As much as I don't enjoy Talaxu Master as a card, I know what you have to do to use it. So Yuna with 3. I wonder if she might consider going Organ Merchants here, once on a blue moon. Selling specimens for loads of hard cash. So she's got Boundless. So she's got 2 ring abilities. She needs loads of money. I actually don't hate Organ Merchants in this specific situation. Because you've got double rings. I might get Organ Merchants and start selling specimens. As long as you get hold of your Talaxu point, it's what you care about. I don't hate that as Yuna. Because you need loads of money, and you've abandoned shipping. Otherwise, what's Boundless doing? Boundless is just a faction access card at this point, then. Which is kind of like a bit of a shame. But I don't think Yuna's going to go for it. Maybe goes Chris Knife for the access and buying coins, but decides against it. I actually think I would have considered Organ Merchants there, but doesn't do it. Beast with 6. I think he's going to rip the row here. A lot of decent cards have come out, though. Well, there's some interesting choices. Sayadina, Guild Accord, Freighter Fleet, Firm Grip, and Guild Admin. He probably has to go Sayadina. He really wants to go Guild Accord, though. Guild Accord is such a tasty card for him here. Getting those high lines at 4 spice. Firm Grip's so good, though, as well. Only Tessia to reveal, but she's not going to be able to buy any of these cards, you'd imagine. Weird spot for Beast, this. What do you prefer? Sayadina is solid. Guild Accord is maybe a little bit exotic. Firm Grip is just really solid as well, though. But you're never getting that alliance. Like, Tessia's clearly intent on just absolutely bombing it. Guild Accord it is. Tempted by To the Victor. It's a very cool pick. I like it. So Tessia will get the win. Beast will have to settle for a choice. Yuna does get Spice and Intrigue, so we won't feel too bad here. But Yuna's going to be a bit reliant on card draw, kind of getting herself out of a bit of trouble here. We'll see what happens. Oh, man. Tessia Vernius does not need to find Sisters of the Secret Hood. And gets that as well, so getting some extra intrigues, you know. So there's that alliance already tapered in. Crazy. Unifying Strongarm, by the way. It's a decent little card right there. I think Tezia will just take the Beetles here. I don't think she's interested in Chair Dog. I don't think she's interested in Subject. She'll just take the Beetles and take the Intrigue Respin. Maybe occasionally you find something you can use. Well, you definitely can't use that. But it's also an insane Intrigue to find. Crazy. Round 4 is Desert Power. More victory points in the conflict. So Ilban has to set himself up for the Swordmaster here, but he's not going to get there. The question's going to be, is someone going to steal Mentat away? Tezia might steal Mentat away. Her card draw is so bad. She might pinch this. Ilban bumps down centrally. Whoa, now that is a curious choice. Why would you not bump up? Interesting. So, Yuna will get Swordmaster here. She's pulled a ring, but, like, you really gonna go Mentat and sack off Swordmaster here for the ring? It doesn't make any sense. You gotta go Swordmaster here. Worry about your ring later. So, I don't think Beast has to go shipping here, and I think Tezia is going Mentat with double daggers in hand. Looks like it. Tezia's looking at the draw pile here. Yeah, John obviously annoyed about that, but nothing you can do. Be fair, this also works out fine. I feel Tezia's got to go. She's got to go dagger here. Like, she's got no access. It's either that or City, and she's got loads of actions here. For me, I think it's Mentat. Like, you can't buy any techs. You can't go High Council. Trying to look at Arrakis. Trying to look at what the last card is. The last card is Experimentation. But Experimentation's not that good for her because she doesn't have any water. So, it's kind of awkward here. Kind of wants to go Mentat to stop Ilban getting it. But could also Mentat and then use Glimpse the Path to redraw. I think as Tezia, I'm going Mentat here with double daggers. It's a clear hindrance to Ilban. It's going to damage his game a lot. You know, Glimpse the Path, you've got a redraw of something. I mean, for me, it's Mentat a lot of the time. Mentat, Glimpse the Path. If you get a bad card draw, it's the way it goes occasionally. You're still hurting Ilban a lot here. Yuna's given the opportunity to do this to him. I think you've got to take advantage of that. Like, I don't really see what else you're doing for free actions, is the problem. Or are you going to Glimpse just to go Imperial Basin now? That doesn't feel too great. It's very likely Tezia might go to a city here anyways, because she obviously has got staged. Yeah, I think he's just got to Mentat it. Use Glimpse later. I think that's totally fine. So, Ilban shut out here. Not much he can really do. Could go... Oh, he can't even block Beast from getting hold of the Solari because Beast has got Arrakeen. So Ilban is just going to be shut out of actions here. Interested to see what he's going to do. You've got Diplo. You feel like you should use it. You could go Wealth. Could go Selective, maybe. You've only got the one card to draw, though, so you are recycling, and all your cancel access is here. Steel Suits isn't terrible. Secrets doesn't feel great. Definitely a problem here for Ilban. So, depends what you want to do here. I don't really see any reason to go to a faction. Disposal, maybe once in a blue moon. I don't entirely hate it. I'm looking at High Council a lot of the time when this sort of things happens, but there's not really much to gain from going High Council right now, except you are opening yourself up to Firm Grip. That's the only thing I can say for Ilban here. If you go High Council, you are looking at Firm Grip here. And that kind of gets around the fact that you don't have access to... whatever else. And also, to be fair, I don't think many people are going Wealth here because the Emperor Alliance is already cooked up here. So I don't hate going High Council. Because Beast is going to get Swordmaster next round anyways. You can't stop him doing that. And once High Council is done, it's done and dusted. You've not got a lot else to do here. I think for me that's the move. I think High Council, grab Firm Grip, and I think you use that to supplant your faction access. And if you do start hitting the Emperor a little bit, that puts Tezia in a little bit of pressure. Stops her from jamming for another alliance. You know, that might be really important here. Because she obviously wants to go Bene Gesserit, but you might be able to harass her here. But he sees he's got his Diplo and feels he has to use it. Does Selective. Well, this is dangerous. This is dangerous. Pause experimentation. So there is Beast with his coin. Yuna with Signet Ring. Fine Seek Allies, which she definitely wants to use. I think if you're going to just strong-arm this, you might as well put it in. Because you just strong-arm is you lose any troop. It doesn't matter if it's deployed or not. So I think I put it in with intentions of just strong-arming it to maybe even Conspire. Again, Conspiring's good for you. You've got you've got double rings. You need as much money as humanly possible. For me, I'm Conspiring. Try and look to see what Yuna's got. Yuna's also threatening Highliner here as well. It should also be noted. And Green is obviously very wary of this. But ultimately, if she's gonna highline, she's gonna highline here. He's worried about putting in 2 troops for 1 water. Because Tezia's got 3 actions. So probably, you know, I don't hate limping in the 1 and just calling it a day. Makes life easier for Tezia, I guess. You could charge a price, but you're kind of playing... It's kind of uncomfortable. I get the impression he's not going to put this in. I feel like if he's going to, he already would have done it. It's a very resigned put in. I just don't feel like he definitely doesn't want to, and that much is obvious. It's kind of why I like making these decisions, what I'm going to do before I take any actions, because this is like making it obvious to yellow that Green's not got anything behind. And it's still making life easier here. My poker background. Does Tezia find anything interesting? Finds a Signet Ring. It's no better access. Interesting. Well, Signet Ring's still a good find, though. Could definitely see Tezia Vernier shifting away from the Emperor here to, like, take Bene Gesserit bump. Thinking, well, I'll just get the Emperor Alliance anyways. No one's near it. I think Carthag looks pretty good here, by the way, because then you're putting Yuna in a decision point. If Yuna does highline, you have stage incident. And if she decides not to get involved for whatever reason, then you're getting a free victory point here. Carthag looks very juicy. Very juicy. You've also got Sisters as well, so you can turn that debump from like the Emperor into your Bene Gesserit triple bump if you want. No one's threatening going any spy spots here very often. It's only Yuna to act, and Yuna has faction access, so she's not going to any mining spots here. Carthag looks very juicy. Counterattack is found. Interesting. Yeah. This is going to happen, and I think the rebump happens here immediately, which it does. So Tezia's got all 4 snoopers off before the end of the 4th round, which is very fast. Although she's effectively now playing with no abilities. Fine strategic push. Tezia wants to put them all in. I think she has to. And kind of see where this goes. Ilban reveals for 4. Surely going Firm Grip here. Found it anyways, but again, I would have preferred high cancelling it personally. Now he's going to grab Subject, because now he can top deck it. And use that either for something or another, so he can start accelerating his beetles. Kind of surprised no one bought that first, by the way. I'm really surprised no one's bought that. It's such a strong card for Ilban, but what are you going to do? So what does Yuna want to do? She could highline and strong arm. That's her best bet here. Gives her shipping access next round, which she really wants. So I expect that's what we're going to see here. She's just going to put it all in. She must strong arm now if she's going to do it, which she does. So one troop is lost. It turns it into a double bump at the Spacing Guild. So it's only a strength for 10. But turns basically Seek allies into power play. And assumably Tesia Vernius is just going to staged here. Which means that Beast is going to get a bonus war that he wasn't expecting. He'll be a little bit annoyed that he put in the troop, but, you know, what can you do about that? Nothing for Beast to do here. Tesia's still got 2 actions, though. That's the thing. Tesia could still look to harass further. I don't know what Tesia's going to do. We'll see. Beast finds Poison Snooper. Don't need to play it right now. It's twice now he's revealed that fold space, though. He needs to get that played. So Tesia is almost certainly going mining with experimentation to Basin, just to get the experimentation done. Has she got eyes on any techs here? Tesia Vernius, I think, is going disposal facility. Because it trashes both daggers at tech negotiation. Trashes the one on the buy, and she'd have 6 to buy, but she'd get rid of the other one. I suspect that's what you're going to see here, is turning that into disposal. Yuna with 3. Don't know if she'll buy. She's being tempted by Guild Impersonator here. Space Alliance is wide open to fight for. Can't top deck it. Could go Beetles. The problem is you're never winning the race to the Talaxu Spies, so I don't think it's a big deal. I don't hate going Guild Impersonator here and trying to put this Alliance task, and does opt to do so. Carino Genes also turns up, but it might be a bit late. Only the 1 graph card. The money would be nice, of course, but they could be sort of like just stuck in your deck a little bit. Still free to buy. Probably has to go Sidina here as it's still there. Somehow. You can't let Tesia have that. It seems absurd. Much as you kind of want to go Freighter Fleet, I think. Sidina just looks superior, especially after the Highland trip. And here comes disposal. Trashing up both those daggers. No. I don't know about that. Sardaukar Legion on the row. Tesia is tempted about that for further Emperor reinforcement. I don't know. What's Tesia doing with that then? Just like... I'd much rather just buy disposal. It's a couple of spies. It's not much. She's going to gamble for 6 here and try and high roll here. It's a little greedy. There's some decent cards out there. A lot of decent cards like have gone out. You know, we've lost Treachery. Power Play's been out there, I think. You know, Sardaukar Legion's solid. You're kind of gambling. Could find anything. There's some good 6-costers out there, but there's also some not very good cards to be found still. Opts to play it safe with Sardaukar Legion. Long Reach does turn up, but she had no way of activating it. I don't think, so it's pretty amazing. So here comes Stage Incident. Yuna won't mind seeing that. It is what it is. It achieved what she needed to do. So Beast gets himself a bonus water, which is great. So he's going to find himself heading off to the Great Flat here for some spies that he was not expecting at all. But he'll be totally okay with this. Knows that he's going to be cut off for shipping for a moment, though. So he's going to have to tweak his plans. And we move on. Round 5 is Trade Monopoly. Oh my god, Beast hasn't drawn it. He needs to get out of jail with Poison Snooper. He's got cheap Guild Accord coming. This could get wild. Yuna just about finds the access. Sidine is also found here. Yulban finds Talaxu Master again. Wow, Beast has a bit of a problem here. I'm not going to lie. If he can get access to Great Flat, I would do that before Swordmaster. I think getting the spice is more important here for Beast. If you give up Swordmaster, it's one action you're giving up. It's not a big deal. He's just going to bump Emperor here, I imagine, a lot of the time, just to get the point done. A little bit nondescript. He's digging for it. Doesn't find it. He's got Pyre instead, so Swordmaster will have to be. Or does he Mentat? Does he Mentat? There's two cards over there. I think one of them is Mining Access. What a spot this is. I don't hate going Mentat and not worrying about Swordmaster right now. I think I'm very interested in that card draw. Great Flat is really big here. But just opts to Swordmaster it. He would love to know what his next card is. Tessiovonis might ambush Great Flat here. Might pick up on the fact that Beast may not have access. It was kind of an interesting draw. Might go Steel Suits here, yeah, and does. Senses it. Senses that Great Flat is open for the taking. And it is. No one can get there. Wild. So Ilban is going to get the Talaxu Spice here. Very strong here. Ilban, now he is going. It's been a little bit of a slow start for Ilban, but now he's off to the races. Yuna's got to go, like, she's got to go Hardy Warriors to do this instead. So spending all 4 water to do this. But obviously wants a piece of this combat. That might be the only Saiyadina she gets use out of in this game. I know Warrior's definitely brave, but fair enough. This is all going in, surely. Yep. This is all going in. She probably doesn't need to put it all in. She could probably get away with, like, maybe 3. But she is down on action economy because she's first player. So I think I'd rather just put in all 4. But I'd be also worried someone might go Great Flat Highliner here. It's very scary. Wow. So sacks off. Oh, they were both mining cards. And Beast didn't draw any of them. Unlucky. Uses Piter to do this. Finds Diversion, which is no good for him right now. Wow. So Beast is going to feel very hard done by this. And Tessiovonis now doesn't even have to go Great Flat because she's the only person with any water. She was thoroughly expecting to go there right now, but there's no need. Might just use Truthsayer. I don't hate going Truthsayer like Wealth here. And just get the Alliance recertified. You can go Great Flat whenever the heck you want. Might also go Bene Gesserit, maybe. But Selective Reading doesn't feel the best, because I don't know what you're trashing out your hand here. I don't hate Secrets, but I actually kind of like going Wealth here. And just getting that Alliance, getting those troops back in, especially given the situation. Beast is no Garrison. Ilban might just be limping in here. Like, you might be able to get second place out of Trade Monopoly here. I think Emperor is the way to go. You could also just hold on to those troops as well to gear up for the next couple of rounds. Wealth of options for Tessia. Very fortunate that Beast missed his draw. I'd be very annoyed if I was green here. That is a terrible time to miss a draw. That could prove fatal. And Beast needs to experiment anyway so that he can get the bumps off dissecting. So an absolutely turgid miss. Just opts for secrets for the double card draw. Finds a Fremen bump. Finds... Oh my good grief. What is this? It's disgusting. How do you find Seed Must Awaken and a Fremen bump here? That's absolutely wild. Gives up the Signet Ring, so obviously intending to just use experimentation. There could be infiltration out there. I feel like you just use this. But yeah, Tezia looking very strong here. Very strong. Like, Ilban is set up, but he needed to be in this position, like, a round ago. Ilban's going to go Basin. Or is he just going to cash in his smuggling here? Just cashes in the smuggling. Yep. Don't hate this. His faction game in all sorts of trouble here. He's got to start scoring points. Is Ilban considering Highliner here? He hasn't got his Swordmaster yet, so he takes the cash so he can try and still get to more council access. What's Yuna going to do here? So she's going Wealth. Here we go. And because Tezia went Bene Gesserit, she's going to turn this into a double bump with the Emperor. So the war is on. Yuna and Tezia feel like they are each other's biggest competition. Here we go. Can this, maybe if they start fighting pretty heavily, might this give an opportunity for the other two to get back into this game? Because they're a long way adrift at the moment. Long, long way behind. Beast has to go Imperial Basin. I think it's mandatory now. I think you've got to get Dissecting Kit's Beetle bumps off. I think it's too important. You'd like to get something out of the conflict, but it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Just get that Dissecting Kit going. You need all the help you can get here in real, real trouble. It also means that Guild Accord is now usable in the future, because you only need 4 spice for it. And that would get off Diversion as well. Beast praying he finds Guild Accord on the respin. Tezia with a free action. Still not deciding to use experimentation. Just going to chill. Feels, well, I might as well get something out of this conflict sort of thing. I don't know. I think I'd probably just use Drake Flat here anyways. Getting that experimentation off is probably... I mean, well, you don't have to use it, but I'd be tempted to use it here. Thinking about drawing Arrakis, feels a bit dangerous. There's a card or two I probably would not want to see. Big round coming up, by the way. Round 6 is... It's massive in the scope of this game. Massive, massive round. Could be a game decider. Says you're kind of unsure here. I mean, you know, looks like they're setting themselves up for Carfag, but the problem is, the problem that she's worried about is Carfagging and not being able to play an intrigue. So doesn't risk it. Just going to limp in for the combat. Finds the dagger. Gives the money to Beast, which won't be anything to disagree from that. That made no sense. Ignore me. So Ilban's going to go Dreadnoughting. He's going Detonation. Oh my god. Well, Ilban is gambling here. Ilban is... He is declaring war, and he's going to gamble. Feels he's behind. Detonation device is taken. Hold on, people need to do test. Red and yellow need to decide what they're going to do here. Yellow's, I'm going to get to that. Tezia will ditch the dagger. Green already got rid of Guild Accord. It's unload effect, so it's all fine here. So nothing to be done. Looks like Yuna's going to get this reasonably cheaply. And Tezia Bones is going to get second prize for a troop. What? Point for Beast. 6 to buy. He has long reach available to him. But his only graph card is Dissecting. And that's what he's looking at here. I'd be happy to play Dissecting if it gets long reach off, truthfully. But the odds of you pulling those two together is not high. Very high variance play. But nothing else to buy. Might just buy, even just for reveal. I would be tempted just to get long reach. The high raise of it, considering your faction stuff, I think is really worth it. Oh, just goes liaison. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts. Tessia gets her point. She's up to 7. Sleep Must Awaken's going to get it to 8. You figure Fremen Alliance would be 9. She's just got to find a 10th point here somewhere. Yuna's going to have to wait to cash in this smuggling, though. Ilban with Talaxu Master. He's going to start racing beetles here. I imagine he's bumping down. Yeah, he's not drawing here, so he's just going to get rid of the dagger here. He does not want to get rid of Harvest Cells he wants for next round. Buys the specimens for the intrigue now. Oh, he finds Rapid. Oh, he might have a piece of this. No, he doesn't. Sides against it. He's going to hold on for round. He's hoping for a massive round. Moment 9, rapid mobilization is no good for... oh boy, Tezia's going to be in some fun here. She's drawn Battle Intrigue. But yeah, rapid mobilization does not work on Dreadnoughts. Only troops. So Yuna gets it. Bumps up twice. Here we go. Round 6 is Carthag. Victory point conflict here. It's a big round. Beast draws fairly decently. Tezia in some trouble. Ilban finds firm grip. Yuna's got keys to power, which is definitely active. Beast, I think, was looking for Guild Accord potentially, but he's kind of in a weird spot here. What does Beast do? He could go up and down for a tech. I don't think he's going to find a ton of stuff here that's of use, unless he goes for, like, artillery. The thing is, he's got the Negotiator. He could go up and down and threaten restricted. I don't hate that. But then diversion's kind of like not really doing anything. So it's kind of a weird spot for Beast here. Just see what he's going to do. I think he is going to threaten restricted ordnance here, however. Is he going to go for the Talaxi point? He is. Ooh, that's brave. So he's taking cash 100%. He's just going to get his friendship points at this moment. Yuna has not found Guild Impersonator yet. Much to her annoyance, I suspect. Go Spice! Wow. Whoa, Spice! I don't know about that. Yuna's going to cash in all this Spice here. Might as well just bump down. See no reason not to. Has to do this to get Sleeper off. Empty the hand out. So she's got buckets of stuff here. If she can find a Fremen bump and win like this combat, for example, she'd win. I don't see how she'd get it. Ilban just starts off with Mentat, as Ilban does. Some things never change. What does Yuna want to do here? Secrets looks not bad. Keys to power gives you 2 spice. But she's not got anything for the ring. Could use Signet Ring. Maybe double bump the Spacing Guild here. Use the Signet Ring and the and that and just cash in. You're getting more money back from the Spacing Guild. I don't hate that move. You don't have to double bump it though. You could do it in stages and use experimentation here first. But I think Spacing Guild is one that you should probably look to go for. But the problem is, Tezia's looking really dangerous. Maybe you decide to start jamming the Fremen and put her under pressure. Is she just going there anyways? You know, Tezia's got 2 alliances. Do you also protect the Emperor? That is not safe right now. Emperor's in great danger. But you've got your ring as backup, you'd feel. Gotta take... Oh, go Spice. I think cash is better. She's going to bump down here. I can only assume that Yuna is going Fremen here. She feels she's got to fight. Remember, this is not group stages anymore. It's not about how many points can you score. You get 3 points per second. Only winners proceed. There's a couple of fastest through the seconds, but you can't bet on those. One of those spots is pretty much already sealed up here. So you'd feel you've kind of got to fight here for this. So might have to go aggressive. Oh, plays defense. Takes Spacing Guild, so is definitely eyeing that up with the Signet Ring. But doesn't opt to fight Tezzy at the Fremen. Was that a chance missed, maybe? Who else is going to fight you? Tezia there's the problem. You're hoping Ilban does? Ilban's got friendships to catch up on. He's never getting involved here. Well, Beast is up. I don't know why he took Spice and not Cash. I honestly don't know. Honestly don't know. He's got to use his fold space. The only question is where. Steel Suits doesn't look the worst. But you have no access to Great Flat. And you don't necessarily realize that Tezia has no access there either. But there's so much spice. Might be worth threatening. There is an argument that says, actually you go Steel Suits, and what you do is if she does go to Great Flat, you go Research Station. Because you can bump up and get the Trash Intrigue for card draw and new intrigue, and Diversion's not really doing anything for her anymore. So I think Steel Suits is good. It gives you two options, depending on what you draw and depending on what happens. Signet Ring is found. Possibly the best card you could have found, really. He has no alliance. But that's a great card for him. And Tezia cannot claim this spice. She's got Sardaukar Legion, which she obviously was intending to use to fight the Emperor. But Yuna's played defense proactively here, which kind of makes that not feel too great. You can garrison 4 troops at least at Emperor, but what are you doing with the cash? You going High Council? Tezia might go Wealth High Council here. Give Spice Must Flow options when you're this close to winning. I think that's what she's intending to do here. I think Wealth High Council is coming. This also continues to put pressure on Yuna as well. Makes life difficult. Tezia just feels if she just gets 2 points, she's good. As long as she gets the Fremen Alliance and finds like a Spice Must Flow, she feels like she's probably just going to win the game. She's also got Garrison and cards to fight the battle as well, depending on what happens here. And this is a victory point conflict. People are going to start getting committed. What does Ilban do here? Ilban obviously wanted to go Wealth, but it's been denied. So he's going to use this to go get his Swordmaster, I suspect. And he'll pay the bump, assumably, at Bene Gesserit, though I don't know. Oh, he pulls Subject. Oh, that's so annoying for him. Because he doesn't have to use it, actually. He's not obligated. Yuna with Ring. No double bump now, though. Yuna's going Bene Gesserit, so he's going to go Carvag and try and pick up something here, along with the Ring. Tiebreaker is found. It's not what she was looking for. How much does Yuna commit here? Does she put in all 4? She's got cannon turrets. She can definitely deny Ilban. If Ilban decides to just barrel in here. Yuna might feel like they've got to win both combats, though. Wow. And Yuna just maxes out the Emperor Alliance. Not willing to take a single chance here. That's pretty brave. You feel she's got to get the Spacing Alliance and the Bene Gesserit friendship before this game ends. Beast goes Research Station anyways! Oh, he draws Guild Accord now! Oh no! Oh, it's a brutal time to draw that. He desperately wanted that. He's not drawn his Diplo. He's in danger now. If he draws his Diplo, he feels it could be game over. And it's a 1d6. I don't know if he's got another fold space in there still. Is he really going to keep Diversion? I feel like Diversion's not doing anything here. To the Victor might help some tie breaks here. I don't think it's a big difference between the two. I just don't see how Diversion is often useful here. There are worlds you get the Highliner and then interstellar shipping. It's possible. I guess I prefer Diversion to the Victor. The problem is he can't see what he draws until after he trashes the intrigue. It feels like 6 of one, half dozen the other, but he did not want to see Gildercord here. That was not a good card for him. Here we go. If he draws Diplo here, it could be game over. He finds Expedite, funnily enough. Replaces his Diversion. Now he's got to pay the spice for the shipping bump. Not get it on the house when he highlines. So he's actually traded off worse, which is funny. And the dagger is a miss on Spice Must Flow. It's a miserable result, this, for Beast, all things being honest. There's High Counselors noted. Ilban has 8 persuasion. Ilban's got to get troops in here, you'd think. But he wants to use Diplo and he wants to use Test. What about Count Ilban going Siege Tabor with Tessie Humanity following up with Hardy Warriors? You feel like you've got to try and put Tessia under some pressure here. Could also go Bene Gesserit to harass. He has rapid mobilization. He doesn't have to deploy right now if he doesn't want to. He feels like he's got to win this fight, though. Doesn't realize Tessia's got cannon turrets. He feels he's got to get in here. If he does, Siege Hardy Warriors is an option. He's got both experimentations. He needs to use either one of those or his subject to get the final Talaxu point, though. This is very awkward for Ilban. I don't hate just going Imperial Basin and just taking the point. And, like, putting in your Dreadnought and a troop and kind of seeing what happens. But he feels he's got to use his Diplo. Firm Grip got neutered, so he's in real trouble faction-wise. Tough spot. This is really ugly for him. He's way behind. He feels like he's got to win this fight. The problem is he can't. But he might not realize that he can't. If Yuna wants to win it, she can. It's a horrible, horrible spot here. He feels like his tournament is coming to an end. It's not a great place to be. Everywhere you look, it's problems. Everything is awkward. Nothing makes a ton of sense. No problems of him thinking about this. He is in the tank. Siege Hardy is an option. But it's exceptionally committing. If it doesn't work, it's game over. He also has Rapid, so he doesn't necessarily feel he has to deploy here. But again, he's pulled Hofi Experimentation and Subject in his hand now, and he might not find him. He might not find him again. It's been a tough game for him. He's been a little bit unlucky with how the cards have drawn out from occasionally. Like having Swordmaster, the Swordmaster Mentat loss a couple of rounds back was really painful. He's got 8 Persuasion. What's he counting up here? It's tough. It's a brutal spot. I think that's getting used whatever he does. The only question is he going to go Basin for the Talaxu point, or does he Diplo first? Again, Siege Hardy is definitely still tempting. He's going to go Arakeen. He's going to go Arakeen. He's got to commit to it before any discards happen. He finds the TM. He coin flips TM here, so that deals with that situation. And he will draw his last card. The problem is I don't think he can spice... Oh, it's convincing. He might just reveal. He's got 7, and he would get a card draw. Ilbon might just reveal here. Private Army for Yuna is a huge find. Not for this round, but next. And now she's ready for Highline as well. And Guild Impersonate is on its way. Yuna and Tesia are going to go to absolute war here. Oh, Beast finds corner. But he's short. There's no Spice Must Flow. It's not doing anything. The intrigues Beast are finding are just not helping him here. He goes for a second liaison. With 7 persuasion. Feels bad. Yuna's just going to gamble up 4 and try and get lucky here. Jamis, Seats Reverend, Gem Ablation. There's some alright stuff there. Seats Reverend looks very good for Alliance defense here. Surely goes for that. And does. Ilbon, I think, reveals. Does he think he can still win this conflict, though? He has Rapid. He doesn't have to deploy. He could use Rapid to do it instead. He has 7. And he is going to reveal here. The question is, does he Rapid Mobilize? I think he's going to because he's got Harvest Cells as well. It would allow him to restock his... If he loses this conflict for whatever reason, he gets 2 specimens from the experimentations, and Harvest Cells allows him to restock a couple of troops into his garrison with his Dreadnought. But he feels like he might have fired his shot. If he wants the Spice of Slow, he has to reveal. There's no way for him to get it any other way. He can't get to Selective. He'd have to reveal. I don't hate it. The question is, are you going to Rapid Mobilize here? Yuna's got 3 intrigues. You lose to almost anything. You're going to be at 11. She's going to be at 8. You lose to a lot of intrigues. It's kind of a crapshoot. And the odds are not in your favor, but he might feel he's got to go for it. He's so far behind in this game. He's 5 points behind Tezzy. He might feel like he's got to try shoot the moon. It's not going to work if he does. It's a horrible, horrible seat to be in right now. But he might feel if he can do it. Spice of Slow is 4. Combat is 5. Dreadnought Detonation is 6. Spice Must Talaxu Point is 7. There's a 4-point swing here. And it gets him right back into the game. But 2 of those points are very speculative. But he's gonna gamble. Here we go. He feels he's got to do this. And he probably does. So Talaxu Point. Gets in the second, researches his draw. That's his Spice Must Flow. That's his 2 guaranteed points. But his deck is almost centered around Talax. The problem is his deck's not that good. It's really hard for him to buy Spice Must Flows with this deck. It's only got 12 persuasion total. And here comes Rapid. So he is shooting it all. But it's not going to work. And it looks like it's coming down to a 2-horse race between Yuna and Tesia here. What does Yuna play? Does she just play cannon turrets now? You'd think so. Beast is going to have his loose spice, but Yuna's going to beat him to Highline. Beast is going to be very hopeful for Guild Accord. Yeah. There's nothing Beast can do. Nothing Ilban can do at all. He at least gets Harvest Cells, and he can re-garrison troops. It's the best he's got. Unfortunate for Dr. Bell. Unfortunate for him. He did. I think he made the right call. He had to kind of just gamble. But it was very hard to see how he was going to win that. Maybe you can make something happen here, but high lines are incoming. It looks like it's end of the road. But who knows? Here we go then, round 7. Tesia desperate that green wins this. Or she wins it herself. Battle for Carthag. Ilban finds a spacing bump as a consolation prize. It's a bonus troop for red as well. Oh my god, look at Yuna's hand. It's a bit all over the place. Might actually use Gilder Cord and just like graft it to convincing or something. Keep keys to power and diplomacy on the side. Tesia's hardy worrying instantly. That much is obvious. 2, 3. She's 8 persuasion. Tesia Vernius might legit just go like tech negotiation and reveal and buy Spicer's Flow and hope 10 is good here. Does she think she can win it? She's got 9 swords in theory. But knows highliners are incoming. It's very close. It'd be interesting to see what Tesia does. Does she go for the guarantee? But the problem is, if Yuna wins the conflict, she's also at 10. And then it comes down to tiebreakers. Ilban in a sorry mess here. I guess Tesia is going to go research station and take the influence bump. She's not going to reveal straight away. And just try and protect her alliances here. Ilban finds TM. But needs help. Yuna highlines with Diplo? I don't know if I like that. I honestly think I'd rather use Guild Impersonator and keep Diplo to the side. That's just personally how I see it here. I think I'd much prefer this. The problem is she has to use Web of Power somewhere in order to get Private Army active, and she's going to need all the help. Is she eyeing up maybe trying to get to Mentat or something? We'll see. Anyways, it's all going in. And we'll just see what does Tesia decide to do. If she gets the Spicer's Flow, she gets the 10. But does she think if Yuna just wins, Yuna's going to win on... Does Yuna have any endgames, is the question. Does Yuna have any endgames? There's none that could be immediately scored. Plans within plans would be a point if she gets a Fremen bump, but she's used Diplo. So I don't quite know how she'd get that. What does Beast do here? You feel like Beast has to try to find Guild Accord here, but it's like, how does he win this fight? He's, again, still got no alliance. I don't hate selective breeding. I think selective breeding is just good for him anyways. He needs to get Bene Gesserit. He could also just go Interstellar Shipping and prep that up with Expedite. I also don't hate that, but I think he'll go Bene Gesserit first here. Seems a reasonable move. Get rid of the dagger. Try and find Guild Accord. He'd like to see it. Nope. But dissecting kit's good enough for a point. Yuna does research station. She bumps up for the beetle? Ooh, I don't know about that. I think I'll be bumping down and protecting alliances here, but that's just me. Ilban Diplo's looking to get the High Council. Oh, he finds Study Melange, but he's got no spice for it anymore. But he might get it off the end combat. Yuna's going secrets with the G manipulation here. Wow, that's some way to play it. Oh my god, she finds blackmail. This conflict is history. Is Tesia Vernius going to get dragged into this, though? I think Tesia can just take the Spicer's Flow and win. But Tiebreaker's in Yuna's hand. Is Tiebreaker going to win this? Who knows? Mentat for Beast. Big moment for Tesia. She might just reveal. She's got 10 persuasion. She has 10 persuasion. She could just go interstellar shipping and take spice. She's 9 swords, 10 with dagger. Gets her to 22 strength. You don't think 22 is good enough here. She might just look to just grab as much spice as possible and try and... Oh, but Yuna's now got the 9th point. Because of Bene Gesserit. Yuna, I think Teddy's going to feel she's got to win this somehow, but how? How do you ever win this? Like, Yuna's got an action to go. Surely she's going to chuck more dudes in. She can't. But she might not know that. Looking at going up here and, like, trashing strategic, she's trying to think what points could she score. Plans within plans is a point. Grand Conspiracy would be a point. I don't look at Ilban. I don't think Ilban's that relevant here. Maybe trying to work out if there's a way Ilban could possibly win this combat instead of Yuna. It's out of your control here. Tezia's trying to work out if is there any way that Yuna doesn't win this conflict if I don't do it? And the answer is almost certainly no. Beast has potential Guild Accord. And might be reliant on Guild Accord here. And might hope that Guild Accord and, like, Ring or something might do the job. The problem is, A, he doesn't have it, and B, Yuna is absolutely loaded. So it's gamble time for Yuna. She's going to try and fluke an intrigue here. Strategic push is going. She's looking for not many cards. Charisma is no good. It doesn't help at all. I think Tezia's race is run. Unless Beast plays spoiler. But how is he ever doing that when Yuna's sitting there with all those intrigues? Ilban's just going to go Carfag. There's not much else for him to do. Oh, he finds bribery. I tell you what, that's a point. That and Guild Authorization is just a straight point. That feels kind of nice. A consolation point for Ilban. But that's all it is. It's been a tough old game for the 4th seat here. It's been a tough old game. Yuna's just going to reveal. But she's going to feel like she's probably good here. Ilban's got no spice. Tezia could have Allied Armada, and that is a little unsettling. But when you've got Tiebreaker in hand, you're feeling pretty confident, along with the 10 swords. Like, how does Yuna get to 28 strength here? She'd need to muster, what? 16 strength in cards and intrigues? It seems almost impossible. Not when you've got Blackmail and a Private Army. Tezia eventually would have to have Blackmail, Private Army. But then if you Blackmail, she loses a point anyways. So I think Yuna knows it's over. Beast is going to just try and find Guild Accord, and he does not find it. He will find the Spice Must Flow. But that's it. And the Spice Must Flow is not going to count for anything. Because Ilban already bought one, he's not trashed it. And Tezia's going to get one as well. So he gets no bonus for this at all. He's going to bump up, actually, for the Spice, which is, like, stronger. Let's get rid of that Talaxu point. When you backtrack on the track there, it does not remove Talaxu points. That came up in a previous tournament game. So Tezia gets the 10. But knows that she somehow has to win this conflict. It looks near impossible. Firm Grip is a complete blank fit Orban. That's a total miss. Rough game for him. Feel kind of bad in a way. Beast has one final action. But I don't think he's... Yeah, I don't think there's a lot to be gained here. Talaxu point. Spiceman's flow point. You did what you could here, but it was not your game. Was not to be. Tezia Vernis will fire out Tactician. But she can't even use counterattack without an intrigue from yellow. From red here. Naught to be done. No counterattack. And that is it is game over. John Bonachon finds his way through to the next round. A pretty cool comeback victory here. Griselpuff will rue the finish here. And will wonder how did they not win this game. That's a heck of a comeback, to be fair, from John. Good job, man. That looked...
yeah, well played. I figured I couldn't beat you in the combat. And I was right about that. So I went fishing, but didn't work out.
Yeah.
Well,
Connection was... That was rough.
oh man.
Didn't hear any of that, John, unfortunately.
Yeah, crazy intrigue drops at the end, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helped. I mean, like, finding, like...
I'm saying,
didn't need him in the end, but obviously it felt a lot safer as it going on. Even with, like, kind of a bit of a weird hand here, but it wasn't even, like, that particularly necessary. It was the previous round, I think, wasn't it? It was, like, the whole Carfag spot as well. There was, you know, and also picking up, like, Trade Monopoly as well. You know, like, I think you made the right choice as well, like looking to defend this alliance, just taking no chances. A little bit brave, because you are reliant on finding... especially the Bene Gesserit point there as well, but just about kind of getting it.
The windfall in round 4 killed me. Oh, it hurt.
Yeah, that was a brutal round for you. Not just that, but yeah, it's once you get that as well. Like, obviously, Yuna had intended to do that the round prior, but didn't draw the access, and was going to look to obviously ambush Tezia. But yeah, that was really brutal for you, and yeah, it was just pretty miserable from there on.
It changed Swordmaster from round 4 to round 6.
Yeah, and like you've got Firm Grit, but it's like you're struggling to use that. There's a lot of fighting over this alliance, so it's difficult to get a lot of use out of that. So it's never revealing for anything.
I wanted to go there and get the other point here, but yellow took the Emperor there.
Yeah,
that's all right. It's a good game.
Yeah, it was.
I actually forgot to draw my intrigue from here, so I think there were a couple that might have gotten me the win.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you had to find a couple of points.
Basically, this one. Or actually, you have the tiebreaker.
Yeah, actually had tiebreaker, but you don't know that at a time. Grand Conspiracy and Plans are a point, basically.
I actually thought you had Grand Conspiracy.
Oh. One thing I will say though, Bell, like I do think the last round, I think you did make the right choice in trying to just gamble everything to pick up the point and the combat. Like I know it was that was a horrible spot, but I don't hate that. I think you're in the point where you've kind of got to shoot the moon there.
That's what it is. I was like, who has no combat? Well, look at them all.
Yeah, it's really hard to win it. But you know, if you do win it and you get in all 4 points, like you're right in the meat of things.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's obviously you don't want to be in that spot in the first place, I guess. But you know, it was a tricky spot. You know, and it's a shame as well because like you would look, you know, you kind of like where you wanted to be with TM in that, but it was like you just felt like you were like a round behind where you wanted to be, and it was just constant catch up. And especially once the Swordmaster thing happened, it was always trailing from there. So I offer commiserations.
Thank you.
What it's worth. So confirmation of the results from the game here. And John does indeed book his place into the second round. A date with Luca and Cherry J awaits him. Meanwhile, Grizzle will have to wait and see if they make it through as a fast loser spot. I think Grizzle will be definitely a little annoyed A little disappointing to have not won this game. They were cruising it, like sort of mid-game there, definitely. And we'll kind of wonder how with 2 alliances and, you know, Stage Instant and Seamless Awaken, how they didn't win this game. And it's basically just Yuna Moritani absolute brute forcing it. Yuna also grabbing the other 2 alliances there and just managing to pick up just plenty of combat points. Siege of Carthage was a big round, definitely. And I had a feeling it was going to be like a real big round going into it. You know, Ilban, it's one of those ones where Ilban could have gone heavier to try and cement the win. And obviously it wouldn't have mattered ultimately at the end of the day. But I think Ilban was kind of forced into trying to go for every single point and going for it. It meant it was very unlikely he'd win, making Red's life a lot easier, not only in that combat, but also the round to follow. No doubt about that at all. But I think all things being equal, you know, I think Tessie will be disappointed to have not made it directly, and they might well be the end of their competition. They'll have to sit and wait. But a good job from John coming back here to take this one down and cementing himself through to the next round. I'll spare a full for Arkhanaut as well in the green seat, having come from my group of qualification. Yeah, kind of an annoying game, this, really. Like, just couldn't quite anything quite going. You know, your Pyro first off feels pretty decent, but just not able to piece anything together, really, which is unfortunate. I think Green's decision to go for Carthage, or Arrakis it was, round 2, I think was the right call. I like that move instead of going for the shipment. It's going to take you a while to cash that in, but just couldn't quite find any particular matches for it, unfortunately. So I think I appreciate the moves taken, just found a couple of different spots, and then red and yellow just started racing away, and it was always going to be difficult to catch up the distance there afterwards. So a shame for them. Also, yeah, pulling a variety of intrigues and just couldn't really find anything of great use. That's never a good time. But regardless, that's going to be it for this match in this video. So I do thank you all very much for watching. As per always, we've, of course, got plenty more content coming from other games from this knockouts round, as well as, of course, the rest of the competition as well. And we'll be seeing who can also make their way through to the next round. Thank you for watching, everyone. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you on the next conflict.